It's a heavy schedule for the GMB Nottingham Panthers, and it's culminated in 4 games in 11 nights. This is the 4th of those 11 night games at home, and this one sees the Hull Stingrays coming to town. Now, it's a Hull Stingrays side that pushed Nottingham all the way just a couple of weeks ago. Final score on Humberside, Hull 2, GMB Panthers 3. It was a hard-fought win and one that the boys want to build on, but it's one that led coach Corey Nielsen to say this is a vastly improved Hull Stingrays side and the best Hull Stingrays side he's seen for many a year. I think the fans are going to have to work overtime tonight. It's a school night and I don't anticipate a big crowd in this one. This will be, I can tell you, the smallest crowd of the season so far. Let's hope the boys give them something to shout about. It'll be a lineup for Nottingham without Dustin Sprout. He's handed in his 2-week notice. He wants to go back to North America. Possibly more on that coming up in the commentary. But it means Jade Galbraith jumps straight back into the lineup. Now he's 100%, and he'll be facing one of our former favourites, Konstantin Kalmikov, the Ukrainian-born, Canadian-trained, if you like, a lot of experience from Canada, former Panther, who certainly knows where the back of the net is. One thing's for sure, the boys will have to pay attention to Sylvain Cloutier's Hull Stingray side. This one counts when it gets underway down there on the ice for points in both the Elite League and the Challenge Cup. Whatever the score is at full time counts to both competitions unless we're tied. If it's tied, it's 1 point apiece in the Cup, and then we'll play the overtime sudden death period and the penalty shootout for the extra point for Elite League standings. With all the teams at the top winning all their games of late, Panthers know they have to win this one. So it's the GMB Nottingham Panthers against the Hull Stingrays. Steve Wilkinson is, as ever, the man behind the lens. And joining me for 1 week only, perhaps it'll be for longer, is the league's press officer, Chris Ellis. Primarily to give us some statistics, although he's already come to the table and said they found 2 of their plays on a fish market on the Hull Quayside, didn't they?
Apparently so. That's the rumour that I heard. 2 of their D-men, perhaps?
Chris, can I stop you there? We don't deal in rumours. We only deal in facts. Like, which high-profile player, Chris Ellis, press officer of the league, was told to find a new club today?
Oh, now I don't know that one. But I've heard rumours that the one has been told. Again, I've only heard rumours.
Well,
do you know?
I know exactly that Sean McMorrow is looking for a new job right now.
That was the name, wasn't it?
I've stuck my oar in and told Sheffield to sign him. All right, here we go. Matt Myers doesn't win the first draw of the night against Coburn. Mitchell. Gaysons. Coburn goes for the deep one. Zion can't get a piece of it. It's squirted out though, and he's Matt Myers, brings it forward, backhands it to David Clark. Bit of a pile-up behind the play on the Panthers' desk, but David Clark still gets half a shot away. Galbraith latched onto the loose puck. He's got it right across to player coach Corey Nielsen. Shots on target, in the pads, rebound. No one gets to it in time, and Hull managed to scramble it away, but they haven't got it over the blue line. Corey Nielsen has a chance to skate forward. He pulls one move, pulls another move, puck's loose. David Clark rips one in. That's hit a leg. Well, the captain, Dully, was telling his teammates to get it out the zone. They haven't. Got another go at getting it out. This time it's the backhand going across. Can Beauregard get to there? He's on the man with the puck. He's freed the puck, but it's gone to the Hull defenseman. Now Corey Nielsen's won it again. Right across. Oh, Billy Ryan stretches out one-handed. Can't quite get the tip on it. Panthers looking for a big early start against Stingrays. Stingrays caused a few problems for Nottingham on Humberside just a few weeks ago. Big hit comes in from Rob Bellamy. Sky Sports are planning to interview him about hitting. It's reasonable. Who else would you interview? Guy Leplee? Oh yeah, they're going to interview him as well. All right, Beauregard works it down. Feeds the front. Slap of the stick by Sladdock. Spoils Billy Ryan's chances. Danny Myers kept it in. Size 12 kicks it forward. Tendler can't latch onto that. Here's Alex Penner. Drops it off for Bellamy. Bellamy drops it off for Ryan. Ryan, oh, they try the tricky little soft shot there, just to try and catch the keeper unawares. The keeper's called Boucher. Christian Boucher. Mostly CHL in the pros. He's bouncing around. It was up in the air. He got the glove to it. Danny Myers keeps it in. Shot from Guy Lepine. Hits the skate of... Oh, he's broken the stick. Nottingham still firing them in. It's going to be a long night at the office for Boucher at this rate. McDonald spins and turns, still has the puck, tries to feed it out to Levers. It's ricocheted around. Hull just can't get it out of the zone. Now they flick it down the ice by Lee Esders. Reed, the former Basingstoke Bison man, backhands it all the way down to Kowalski. And those Hull Stingrays players hardly had breath to get to the bench for a change on the fly. McDonald protects the puck and gets it in low, gets it past Usverta. Another big hit coming in from Nottingham. Nottingham trying to create a chance out of nothing. David Clark fires off the goalie's chest. Kalmikov, former Panther, can't control it. Well, Dully's first pass has got it down the ice. Long range shot off target. I don't think there's been a shot on target by Hull yet. We've had 4 minutes. 3 if you count him precisely, Statsman. Oh, Matt Myers didn't have to do anything and just skates past the D-man. Panthers piling the pressure on early doors. Stevie Lee with a snapshot. Pad save, it's come all the way back out. And David Alexander Beauregard opens the scoring at 3:21 in the 4th minute. It's the Panthers 1, the Hull Stingrays 0. And David Alexander Beauregard adds to his amazing record of scoring official goals in league competition.
Well, I think that's 3 minutes of Panthers pressure and 21 seconds of the Stingrays just trying to get rid of the puck. I mean, in the years gone by, Panthers have been kind of criticised for these games coming out maybe a bit flat-footed, but I mean that was constant pressure, good puck rotation, and and great hitting as well. But that is just an immense start in terms of possession for the Panthers.
Beauregard tips it in. Not a bad crowd, for a Tuesday night on a school night in Bonfire Week. Dully tries to finish his hit, loses his stick in the process. Bellamy doesn't care about that. Boucher gets a piece of it. Bellamy knocks Dully back, payback time, and he tries to get another one, just misses him. Cloutier comes in, the player coach, like he's going to do something about it. Hull trying to mount an attack. Mitchell tried the curl and drag, but he was put out of position. Nikolov rides Coburn a little bit with a hit, gets to the puck, gets it out, Mitchell gets it in. Kowalski will deal with that, covers up. Cloutier doesn't do anything. Kowalski says he'll take the face off. Nikolov favouring his skate at the moment. Maybe he needs the edge looking at. Get the little sweet stick on that. We've had 4:13 sponsored by CH Sports, and Panthers deservedly lead it by 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. The pressure is told in the early stages. Hull are a much better side this season, and I think many have been surprised, especially by tactically how good they are. I know Corey Nielsen was mentioning that he thought they were great in the first fixture in Humberside.
McDonald gets it forward after the save by Kowalski. Sladok off the boards. He's just a young Eastern European Sladok. Tendler with a shot, high and not very handsome. Reed keeps it in. He's double teamed, but he's got the puck across to Tendler, who's been a bit of a goal scoring machine for the Hull Stingrays so far. Matt Davis off Danny Myers' skate. Tendler gets to the ricochet, gives it away though. It's bounced over the stick of Alex Penner. Sladok has it neutralised for the Hull Stingrays. Looking for the return pass, doesn't get it. Silverthorne sends it to Davis. Davis sends it in, and Hull en masse go back to the team bench. Well, I didn't see them unload an oxygen tent or an iron lung off the bus. In fact, they were trying to borrow our warm-up cycles. Can we have your spin bike? Dully tries to stick handle his way in, doesn't, but the shot still comes in. I think that's James Archer, former Sheffield lad. Can't get to that. Matt Myers can. Backhands it to the corner. On his farthest point. Close range. Knock him down, Steve Lee. Good work on the boards by Gaysons. It's won the puck for Hull. They're mounting their first sustained period of a pressure. Matt Myers. Oh, gives the puck away after doing the hard work, but he's won it back, made amends. Always a sign of a good play when they make a mistake and they put it right themselves. David Clark sends it in low. Matt Myers goes search and destroy, doesn't have to. David Beauregard right to the front. David Clark tries to snap it away and can't quite get the shot away after 6 minutes of the game. He's gone to the bench now, David Clark. Icing against the Hull Stingrays. We're going right down there. That's the first icing of the game. We've had all that Nottingham pressure. Now we've had a little bit of Hull pressure, and then Matt Myers single-handedly broke it up.
Did look a good side. I mean, just in that terms of possession, it's the first time I've seen Hull, but they moved it around nicely and did, you know, Panthers back in their own zone for a couple of minutes.
Little warning sign there for Nottingham. Get the basics right. You know, when the guy's standing next to the blue paint, knock him over rather than let him shoot. But here's some more pressure from Nottingham. Billy Ryan gets it to the back door. Bellamy twists and turns away from Cloutier. Then dishes it off, cycles it to Ryan. Ryan across the back to Bellamy. Bellamy out front to Nielsen. Nielsen, big blast, save, big rebound. Nielsen keeps it in with a one-handed backhand, but it's played back to him by Bellamy as Panthers regroup and then mount another attack. Billy Ryan protects the puck. He's not getting much help. He throws it into the crease area. And keeper Boucher, the 27-year-old from Orleans in Ontario, hangs on and says, we'll have the face-off, boys. Just over 7 minutes gone. Sponsored by CH Sports. You know, Chris, when I look around here, you know, I get charged with getting bums on seats, as it were. This'll do for a Tuesday night, fourth game.
Job.
You know, fourth game in 11 nights, bonfire weekend. It is Hull, who may be a much better team this year, but the fans have to have that proven to them, don't they? They've seen them last year. Ian McDonald, Silverthorne comes in, tries to steal the puck off him and helps win possession. Penner helps win it back. Danny Myers loses sight of it. Tendler comes round him easily. 2-on-1 as Chris Ellis is feeding in my ear. I had noticed. Panthers win it back. McDonald gets it forward. Levers can't corral it. Panthers changing on the fly. And Danny Myers just jumped over the boards. Gate in time so that Panthers aren't whistled down. Levers drops it off. McDonald. Nice hands. Goes the long way around Reed. Sends it across the back. Penner sends it back. Bit too hard. Bounces off the tape. Hull send it down the ice. Gloved down by Steve Lee. Sensible thing there. Nice diagonal dump. Panthers changing the forwards on the fly. We've had 8 minutes. Panthers lead by a goal to nil. Big blistering start from Nottingham, hitting everything that moved. Haven't really kept that going. Hull have come back into it. Obviously decided they have to get back into it or else. Kowalski fakes one play, gets lots of time, backhands it to Steve Lee, he backhands it to Clark, Clark backhands it off the boards, and he's Matt Myers. Well, the D-man's all over Jade Galbraith. No interference call, but they've given it away. Davy Clark spins and tries to shoot, but it's squirted out to the right wing. Matt Myers collects, he's protecting it, one-handed, gets it to Corey Nielsen, turns it inside. Davy Clark tries to spin and shoot. Beauregard tries to get a piece of it, and eventually Hull get a chance to clear with Gassens. Carries it over halfway. Soft shot straight into the GMB logo. Kowalski will have them all night long.
Yeah, good work by Hull Stingrays though again after that early pressure from the Panthers, which really was about 3 minutes of constant pressure. They seem to have got into the game again now, Hull, and obviously some favourites, as you mentioned, return. Kalmakov, of course, and Cloutier always very solid. The Stingrays, when in possession, do look pretty dangerous.
Always got a soft spot for Konstantin Kalmakov, and I don't mean the bog at the bottom of the garden. 44 points in 60 games in I think it was even a Super League year, wasn't it, when he was with us? Hull give the puck away. Nikolov gets to it. Beautiful pass from Nikolov. Beauregard can't quite get it to Bellamy, but Corey Nielsen jumps in the play. Sladdock loses his footing. Nottingham benefit from it and get it right into the corner with Billy Ryan. Back to Bellamy, who's covering for his coach, who went in deep. Beauregard can't get it at the first attempt. Can get it to Nielsen at the second attempt. Cloutier's leg comes in the way. Big friend of coach Corey Nielsen. And he gets the chance to clear for Hull now. Lobs one in. Kowalski said, oh, not sure what that bouncy rubber thing's going to do, so I'll just put everything behind it. Billy Ryan drops it off, takes Silverthorne with him and leaves the puck with Nielsen. Busy B Bellamy trying to find a way through. 5 across the blue line from Hull. That's more like the Hull we know and love, Chris. They've thrown a water bottle on for the Hull keeper and he hasn't seen it yet. Now he has. He's going to get it. He's caught it in the blocker. McDonald wins the draw. There's more than one way to skin a cat. If he doesn't go back properly, take it forwards. Referee Michael Hicks, the shirt salesman, hasn't had to call much yet. One linesman is Dalton, the greenskeeper. Hull are offside. Linesman with his arm up but not calling it because it was a delayed offside is Phil Sewell from Hull. Tells me he's a bricklayer. We reckon he builds mausoleums. Good work by big Alex Penner. Weapon X protects the puck and pinpoint pass. Tip from Mark Levers trickles through and Boucher makes the save. He went to Robert Morris University, the Hull netminder, and he played in Rio Grande in the EIHL. And last year he was at Nijmegen, which sounds like a cure for athlete's foot to me. Get yourself a paste of Nijmegen, but actually it's in Holland.
A very European flavour to the Stingrays this season. I'm going to tell you a story in a minute, or remind you of something, Gary, in the next break and play.
Jade Galbraith, first game back from injury. No Dustin Sproat tonight, he's put his notice in. David Clark has to keep wheeling back. He's Saverta, and the Finn was coming in at the back door, but Clark had him kind of shadowed. David Clark having a good chirp at somebody. Is it story time, Chris?
No, I was just talking to Kevin Bergen last night, talking about how his start's gone for Amiens, and he was talking about the rink and the setup, which reminds me of our times there, of course, when we did commentary the other way round. You were my guest summariser, of course, for 3 games in Amiens.
Yeah, it was an interesting visit, wasn't it? That was the year where we didn't lose, wasn't it?
We didn't lose.
We got knocked out.
Mopes got injured, Cliffordon got injured, Danny Scott played on the second line, can you remember?
Well, he was on the second line.
we played Milan with about 12 fit skaters.
Yeah, and they had a couple of they had a couple of ex-NHLers, and they tried to cheat, didn't they? And I had to deal with that at the recruitment meeting, the pre-tournament meeting. Matt Myers is going coast to coast here. It's ricocheted around in front. Panthers can't keep it in. It just came out right down the middle channel. We're more than halfway through the first period. Jade Galbraith goes off. Steve Lee goes to get the puck. Passes it across to John Zion. Left-handed player playing on the right. Backhands it back to Steve Lee. Steve Lee sends it forward. Billy Ryan finds Bellamy's stick, but it ricochets up into the crowd. I hope that hasn't hit anybody. Please keep your eye on the puck at all times and look out for the Panthers coverage in Balls Mania Sports Magazine, out every week.
No, but they were just saying they were good times for the Panthers, and Kevin Bergen's had a pretty decent start to life in Amiens. But no, back to tonight's game. Still Panthers very much in control. 8:13 to go in the first period. The shot count must be something like 11-2 at the moment.
Chris Ellis knows his stats. So if he says it's 11-2, who am I to argue?
I'm not far away.
Oh, I bet you're not. Very precise ice hockey. We precisely time everything. We precisely record everything. I was looking at a computer program before the game today, and while you're filming a game, you load it into the computer and you have someone pressing buttons, so every player's face-offs, every player on the ice at any given moment is all recorded and everything, where the shot's coming from and all the rest of it. And the bloke said afterwards, "What do you reckon?" I said, "How much is it?" He said, "We haven't worked it out yet. It won't be cheap." I said, "Oh, right." He said, "Do you think you might want one?" I said, "I've already got one." He said, "What do you mean you've got a program? We've just invented this. We're still working on it." I said, "I know. Mine's called Barry Burt." Barry, it's exactly what Barry Mert does. You watch the DVD and Barry has his notebook and tells you the stats. Mark Levers loses his edge, and with it
Barry
possession.
Never has a power cut, does he?
I tell you what, you would want to be next to Barry in a ruck in a bar. Trust me.
Yeah,
he locks his leg and he can't get knocked over. Oh, good feed from Penner to Mark Levers. Mark Levers tries to repay the favour, and Penner can't quite get there. McDonald got it through the eye of a needle, didn't he, to Levers. Levers tries to fire it around. It's picked off, and Silverthorne now has a chance to bank it off the boards. Danny Myers tries to bat it out of mid-air. Guy Lepine wins the foot race with Davis. The Hull lad gets the tip though, Davis, when Hull regrouped and sent it back in. Mark Levers shined out of that a little bit, but now he's got a chance to properly clear the puck for the GMB Nottingham Panthers and mount an attack. Tries to roll a soft one and didn't get hold of that one either. He's looking for a change. He gets bumped from behind by Tom Jeffrey. Hull lad that's been drafted in to make the numbers up. Bit pinbally at the moment. Here come the Panthers, David Clark. Tried the curl and drag. Feeds Matt Myers in the end. First option would have been a drop pass to Myers. Didn't come, but eventually feeds him. David Clark trying to make amends, and does, and wins the puck. Turns it inside, and his line mate Matt Myers collects. David Clark getting a deserved round of applause for putting things right. Jake Galbraith backdoor David Clark. He'll not get an easier one tonight.
Wow.
Well, Archer was trying to pass it through John Zion's size 12 skates. Matt Myers with the backhand pass. Bellamy with a shot. Hits a skate. Panthers have won it again. Beauregard has a look. Protects the puck. Backhands it into Nikolov. It's sticked by the D-man. Put off target. Coburn gets it across. Referee Hicks slams the brakes on it. And Hull just give it away. Here comes Corey Nielsen, the man with a plan. Carries it down the right wing. The stick from Dully sends it upstairs into the netting, and we get a whistle from the referee, who has yet to call a penalty.
That's what I was just thinking.
And we've had 15 minutes of ice hockey. We bring you introduced statistics, and there has only been the goal.
There isn't much to say, is there? There isn't much chance to express the knowledge. I can tell you that Mike Hicks is going to be on the Elite League forum very soon. That's a shameless plug.
Tuesday, November the 16th in this very building. If the fans want to go, they have to email Chris, media at the Elite League, and book a ticket. It's no price to get in, it's free. Well, you couldn't really charge to come and listen to a bunch of referees, could you?
That would be, yeah.
Unless it was for charity, you know. But just a case of, you know, referees explaining rules and what have you, and where they're from and what they do. You know, I mean, I would think on our commentaries, more than anyone, we explain where the referees come from and what they do.
Yeah,
than anywhere else. No one else reads about them. Michael Hicks does shirts. People know that. He is the H in CH Sports, our sponsors for tonight's game and shirt manufacturers. But, you know, how many people know that Andy Carson is a bank manager or a bank man?
Yeah.
Everyone that listens to our commentary, because we call him a banker every time we see him playing, or on the reffing a game when we're playing. Paul Staniforth, he's a tax man. It's one of my favourite combinations, a banker and a tax man. Guy Lepine's attempt to rag the biscuit has now succeeded with a little bit of help from Hull, who fired it all the way back. That's called a pass back from Mitchell to the keeper. Sladdock walks into trouble. Billy Ryan tries to give it forward, but it was the skates of a Hull Stingray in the form of Lee Mitchell. Bad bounce off the edge of the puck, fell kindly. Cloutier, soft backhand, easily gloved by Kowalski. Chris Ellis is a very busy man. He's taking and receiving and sending his 59th text of the first period while we've been sitting here.
I'm actually just remembering to keep the Notts Director of Cricket, Mick Newell, updated, actually.
Is he away at the moment?
He's just got back from Tenerife.
He was never playing cricket there. Mark Levers just did a little curl and drag to get into a better shooting position. Penner easily puts his man down. Zion with the blast, it's ricocheted around, hits the back of Reed, and keeper Boucher says, all right, let's have a face-off. 3:15 to go, first period. Panthers lead by a goal to nil in this Elite League and Challenge Cup game. Points in both competitions up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. Panthers, of course, so far in the Challenge Cup, they've got that loss and a win against Sheffield, the draw against Coventry. So obviously we're well set for a semi-final place at the moment. Long way to go, though.
Giveaway by Hull. They were trying to set the man in front up. Problem with it, there wasn't a man in front. McDonald makes some room, goes for the backhand. Penner was on his knees at the side of the net, praying for a crumb. That's all it was, Your Honour. Levers makes a bit of room. Zion goes in the corner, runs a decoy. Levers with a soft shot. Boucher saves. Wasn't a lot of pace on the shot, but sometimes they're the ones that sneak through, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And Levers obviously getting a lot of room. Obviously maybe getting more room than he would normally use to with someone like Alex Penner on your line. Just creating that bit more room. I didn't see the game in Sheffield, unfortunately, on Friday night, but you know, I gather Alex Penner obviously had a lot of Sheffield players quaking in their boots, and I guess that's what he brings you.
Yeah, for my money, he won the game for us because 16 minutes
minutes
gone.
Say that to me tonight.
Well, for 16 minutes gone, he got stuck in. Someone had mentioned to him that Munn had been the cock of the north in our barn and thought he owned the place and was picking his spots a little bit, and someone should perhaps teach him a lesson. Can't imagine who would say that to him on the corridor, but it was said out loud and he took it to heart and went out on a mission, and 16 and a half minutes gone, he tried to fulfill the mission. Munn didn't want to know, but we had this kind of room in Sheffield second period.
Changed the course of the game, it seems,
yeah,
didn't it?
Absolutely did. I mean, I know one of the goals was a penalty shot, but that was a breakaway short-handed, which came about because people weren't perhaps being as physical as they had planned to be, and certainly had been first 10 minutes. Guy Lepine kicks it out of his feet and then does what a good D-man does under pressure, banks it off the boards, gets it into neutral ice. Panthers have changed one guy at a time on the fly. Guy Lepine has a look into the feet of Bellamy, but he manages to dig it out, control it, carries it forward, turns it inside to Lepine. Billy Ryan just in front of Lepine, tried to get the tip, didn't happen. Suspicion of offside. Bad pass from Bow this time. And DAB has passed it, not quite to Kowalski. Lepine goes back to stop it, backhands it across to Danny Mize. Danny Mize has a look, tries to put it into the path of either Ryan or Beauregard. Boucher has to play it. Bellamy can't keep it in the Hull zone, and Hull managed to bring it forward, but then just give it away. Well, the first period's flown by. Danny Mize hasn't quite got it across to Steve Lee, but he's patient, he waits for it, it trickles through. Bellamy spins and turns. He's lost the puck though. Tendler feeds it into the slot area. Danny Mize on Silverthorne, it's helped free the puck up. Beauregard across the back of the net. Dully, rubbed out on the boards by Steve Lee. Billy Ryan gets help, gets the puck, protects it, bides his time, flicks it down the ice, but Bellamy was changing on the fly. Tendler takes it into the zone, onside. Danny Mize tries to block the route to goal. It ends up being sticked upstairs by Kowalski, but it catches the glass, not the netting. No face-off. Steve Lee uses the boards and gets it forward to Mark Levers. Mark Levers has a look. He's got Penner trying to get to the net. He's in front of the crease now. It's come out to John Zion. John Zion through traffic, sticked away by the keeper. Could have gone anywhere. Archer has it for the Hull Stingrays. Can't get it past Zion, and the period draws to a close. Solid period from the GMB Nottingham Panthers. Big blistering start, which thoroughly deserved the opening goal, by which they lead. Beauregard the scorer, sponsored by CH Sports. 20 minutes of Elite League and Challenge Cup action gone. It's GMB Panthers 1, Hull Stingrays 0. Coming up, second and third periods, folks. Without looking, Chris Ellis, what were the shots on goal?
15-4.
16-11. I'm glad we got a stats man in, Steve.
Hull Stingrays had 16 shots on goal.
No, I think they got them the wrong way around. I think it's 16 on Hull.
Well, even 11 shots on goal.
We must stop employing that blind man on a galloping horse to count the shots on goal.
Oh, here we go. It's 16-7. What did I say?
16-7. You said 15-4. There you go, they've changed the scoreboard. Just for proof, Steve, have a look at one of the scoreboards in the corner or whatever. Matt Myers to take the draw against Coburn for the GMB Nottingham Panthers. 150 people apparently are already booked in to go and quiz the refs. No doubt someone wants to ask Andy French about the 2 points against the London Racers from 19 Get Out and Push when they played an ineligible player. Someone could ask him about Edinburgh's 6-1 win over Newcastle, but that's more than a rumour. We'll just have to wait and see what happens out of that one this year. Coburn takes it forward, he's got his player coach riding shotgun inside. Clark gets enough of him to knock him down and he's given the puck away. Steve Lee overcooks it but manages to get it at the second attempt. Matt Myers takes over, stick handles through. See Matt Myers with one hand on the stick more tonight than I've seen him in recent games. I think he's wonderful at playing the game as you try and teach kids with two hands on the stick. About a minute of the second period. Sponsored by CH Sports. It's still 1-0 to Nottingham. Are we having a penalty?
Got a bad feeling he's given Nottingham too many men. Yeah, he has.
Well, did he clip a skate on the way through? First penalty of the game, folks, and it comes at 20 minutes and 52 seconds. Bench penalty against Nottingham for too many men. Hull have a power play opportunity to tie the game.
The crossover period's got smaller, hasn't it, where players can cross on the change?
Very much so. It used to be like 3 strides. Now it's 1 stride, but as it always was, if you touch the puck, you're in danger of it being called. It's juggled around but padded away. Danny Myers has a chance to complete the clearance and does, and throws the pizza right down the ice, 300 feet down the ice in fact. Deli sends it in. Kowalski gives it to the coach and he fires it off the back netting. That was safe. That was a pretty safe play. That killed a bit of time. Went and got it himself. Dully's on the track and the train comes in and Bellamy's won the puck off him. He can't quite nail the attempt round the boards and it's Hull that bring it forward. Through the legs of Konstantin Kalmikov, out the other side. They're all offside. Davis was offside. Hull get whistled down. They've had 50 seconds of man advantage. I'm not sure how good the Hull power play unit's been. I know it struggled a bit last weekend. They had back-to-backs with Cardiff last weekend and played very well in the cup. And I did hear tell that young Andy Yazik, who had a couple of games with us, the backup netminder, got to play in that one. And then Boucher was in the next night in Hull, where it wasn't that close.
I think it was 2-4 in the end, or 2-5.
Yeah, it was 4-2 on this Sunday night in the league.
Yeah.
But I think the first and third periods drawn in Cardiff in the cup on the Saturday night. I think it's going to be tight in our group in the cup, though, Chris. I think Cardiff have picked up a few points, but this is a night where Nottingham have to just do the job and get the 2 points for both league and cup.
Absolutely, and they're doing it well so far.
Well, I don't want to jinx this one, but so far so good on this penalty kill. Zion steps up to Cloutier. He has still got the puck back. They've eventually got it back to Reed at point. I think that's Mitchell off the legs of Levers. That's a dreadful play by Mitchell. I don't like to knock British players, but he's not one of my favourite British players. Silverthorne goes down very easily. Clark loses it but wins it back. Loses it again, but does enough to upset the apple cart, and Tendler's lost it. Panthers are back to full strength. The kill's over. Jade Galbraith was serving the too many men call. He comes onto the ice and nearly robs them deep in their territory. Tendler gets it. Usi Verta fans at the puck. Nothing happens. Still only had the one penalty. Dully plays it off his backside and then gets a chance to play it again. And they just give it away. They had 3-on-2 there, technically. Ooh. Just too far in front. David Clark has to stretch and scramble just to get wood on it. Lakovitz is on for his first shift of the game, I think. Kalmikov cuts inside. Off the boards. Danny Myers does the same thing to get it out. Kalmikov gets it in, backhands it to Lakovitz, read it well. Nice feather backhand pass to McDonald. McDonald pushes it too far in front of himself, can't get to it. Penner actually put the brakes on there. Guy wasn't looking. Big train on the track. And he put the brakes on. Penner, it would have been gloved down comfortably by Myers, and Penner tipped it into Panthers zone. Well, I don't agree with referee Michael Hicks, the Simon lookalike from the in-betweeners. I don't see how that was a high stick, because high sticking has to have an element of danger for me for it to be worth blowing the whistle.
No danger there, no danger at all. I guess if you're watching this, you'd have read the programme, but the lookalikes, Gary, I've got to say, in the programme had me in stitches a few minutes ago.
It's the chairman that... I thought the chairman looked like Will. Briefcase.
Will you get the phone call in the morning?
It's a funny way to hand your notice in, isn't it?
And it's a ringer.
Andy French at the league has demanded to see a copy of it. I'm going to leave that to you to do.
Okay.
But we put the picture in at the printers and just cannot believe how much Neil comes out looking like Will. Panthers set it up nicely. Blocker saved by Boucher.
I had to look 5 times. I thought it was.
You thought it was still Will?
Still Will. Actor. I was convinced it was.
That's Neil. McDonald, good soft hands on the big guy. Zion steps forward to make some room. McDonald comes round, can't get the shot away, but gives it to Steve Lee at point. John Zion on the wrong hand, tries the lofted backhand. Bellamy shoots through traffic, clips a leg and goes just wide. Zion fakes keeping it in, then does keep it in. Or tries to make some room for himself, still trying to make room, and shoots into the bottom corner. Sometimes you think John Zion's overcooking it. He's put that one right on the front burner, not the back burner. Back of the net, Panthers lead by 2. GMB Panthers 2, Hull Stingrays 0.
Yeah, great goal from Zion there. Not had the best of times, I don't think, since returning from injury. He just looked a little bit match rusty, but that was patience, wasn't it? You thought maybe he was going to pass, you thought he was going to maybe shoot in the first instant. That's his second goal for the Nottingham Panthers, and a great move by himself, a solo goal, a second goal in the GMB Panthers colours. Great finish.
Good job by John Zion. Here's Rob Bellamy, tries to slide it one way past Dully. Goalie's got it in his glove on the snapshot. Chris is texting now for those that didn't buy a ticket to tonight's game.
League secretary's just asked me the score, I better tell him.
Lookalikes 1, owners 0.
I might send him a picture, I can probably do that.
He needs to see the real thing, Chris, it won't work. Oh, calm work by Angel Nikolov, but then he has his pocket picked. Good save by Kowalski to deny Tendler. Nikolov helped get it out. Tendler to no one. Davis tries to go and get it. Oh, it's ricocheted badly off the back of a leg, and Billy Ryan mops up and robs and does a bit of pocket picking of his own. Oh, you can't count that. I changed the tense. I didn't say he picked his pocket. I said pocket picking. Oh, now that is 2 now. You've conned me into it. I'm only allowed to say he picked his pocket 3 times in a game.
Really?
Now I've said it 3 times, that's it.
The end of the quota.
I did that on purpose, you know. He says that one doesn't count. I've got 1 more to go.
Got to say, I'm out of the lower teams I've seen this year, Hull, Newcastle, Dundee, I think Hull looked the best of them. Did you know at Newcastle on Sunday, wasn't it? That for about 45 seconds, 60 seconds.
David Clark comes in, fires the big shot. Keeper got the glove up.
On a 5-on-5 spell, they had 4 men on the ice for about 45 seconds.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, they had that big invisible white rabbit, Harvey, playing for them. Maybe he was having a shift. David Clark has all the time in the world, picks his route out carefully, gives it to Matt Myers. He's been a workaholic tonight, tries to get it to the right penalty, proper penalty. 2-minute penalty for slashing or hooking. It's the D-man going in the box. That's going to be Sladka, isn't it? Sladok. Joseph Sladok, the 22-year-old from Slovan in Slovenia, played in Romford last year in the EPL.
So he wasn't on the fish market then?
No, definitely not. He was he was with the Raiders. I can't think of anything to do with Romford. Well, he's an Essex boy, you know. But I'm sure he had phenomenal. I've got a feeling he had phenomenal points in Romford last year. Played junior hockey in Canada though. Panthers on the power play. Corey Nielsen, big rebound, whacked out of the air by Billy Ryan. Puck's bouncing around, it's loose. Mitchell gets it down the ice. Slashing's the call against Sladok. John Zion pretends to go behind the net and leaves Sylvain Cloutier in his wake. Gayson's working D, didn't get it past the blue line. Corey Nielsen fakes the shot. Beauregard has a look. Nielsen makes some room for himself along the blue line. Back out to Zion, backhand to Nielsen. Crisp pass in, Zion with the shot. Tip, just wide. Good rob there. Good rob by Billy Ryan. Through the legs of Billy Ryan from the coach to Zion. Nielsen sneaks in at the back door. Ricochets off the back of Rob Bellamy. It's been a good signing, Rob Bellamy, for the GMB Panthers.
Oh my word, what an excellent signing. Quick wheels, hasn't he, just? And strong. Hits hard.
Well, I know it doesn't count for much, but he's my kind of hockey player.
I know what you mean.
Nikolov, oh, just intercepted by Tendler as he tried to get it across to Mr. Magic Hands. The Magic Hands of Scott Poundle have got Jade Galbraith back in action. In fact, if truth be told, had it been big games over the last weekend, Jade would have played. But now with Dustin Sproat putting his notice in, saved by Boucher to deny Nikolov. With Brussels Sproat putting his notice in, it was felt, okay, all right, enough's enough. I think we'll sort that one out sooner rather than later. And good news from the fans' perspective is that the Panthers will try and find a replacement as quick as possible. No need to rush, we've got a full quota. But we've got the resources, shall I put it that way, to carry the spare import. Hence the green-eyed, envious complaints and comments from other teams, but that's their problem. They want to work 24/7, 7 days a week from mid-August. They might get banners up everywhere and leaflets out everywhere, and they might have a mascot that drives around in a smart car with a tannoy announcement going out the back of it. They might have put banners up outside fireworks shops saying don't mess with fireworks. Oh, Reed's giving it away. Matt Myers tries to feed the back door. Jade Galbraith, he gloves it, puts it down, knows Myers is coming round the back, recycles the puck. Myers tries to fire it through a forest of sticks and it nearly got through. Here's Kalmikov, KK. Backhand tip, sends Coburn in. Galbraith gets all the way back to help, swings it around the boards, and David Clark sends it inside. Myers just can't get hold of it. Hull lad, Matt Davis. Oh, that could be that could be a delay of game. Did you see that hit the glass?
Just touch the glass, maybe.
You think? Your eyesight is better than mine from 250
I'm not
feet.
convinced it is. That's why I wear glasses as well.
Well done, Mr. Magoo. I think that definitely hit the glass. You could see it from here. That one David Clark shot against Newcastle, which we thought hit two posts, and some people thought, Levers, glove save, Boucher hangs on, Lakovitz trying to make a nuisance of himself through the blue paint. David Clark hit one across. Watched in as slow motion as I can do. I can do like a 30-second of real time on the big screen at home. Just lose sight of the puck. It just was such a hard shot. Our lass and others were convinced it went in the back of the net and out. At the time we thought maybe it hit two posts and came out. Don't know. Light didn't come on. Nobody protested too much.
You didn't have enhancing equipment to hand then?
I didn't have the paint by number special, no. I'm still looking forward to seeing it. Penner finishes his man off, just rubs him out on the glass. Given away by Lakovic, but between them, with help from the back heel of Myers, they block the attempt on goal. Dully sends it across, levers in and out of the glove. He has a look at the glove to see if there's a hole in it. Penalty coming up against Lepine. Cloutier skates across the front of Lepine. He's probably just saying bonjour in French, because they're French-Canadian.
He might be saying, I wish you'd stayed with us. I mean, that's a, you know, if you think about the pickup that Panthers managed to make, Lepine was all Stingrays bound. It's time for them, and then of course looked like we were going to lose the Stingrays.
Yeah, they never announced him though, Chris, and that was one of the anomalies. They signed him 24 hours before they announced they weren't going to take part, and then the new organisation, in effect Coventry, took over.
Still a great pickup for the Panthers.
I like him.
Again, your type of player, if you go by that.
Yeah,
he hits hard, he hits hard
fights with both hands.
every shift.
Reminds me of a favourite player. Throws them with both hands, and when they hang on to the one he's thrown them with, he throws them with the other one, and actually tries to hurt them with the punches.
I know another of your favourite players. I'm trying to line him up to come on the Elite League podcast. I'm not shamelessly plugging again, but Jimmy Pack I'm trying to line up to come on the podcast. I know a good favourite of yours. And
he was a favourite player of mine, Jimmy Pack, but he was a favourite guy of mine, still is. He's just a lovely bloke. And he epitomised something I mentioned earlier in the game. When you make a mistake, he didn't make many, but if he ever did make a mistake, he put it right. Billy Ryan floats it across. Oh, side netting. Side netting from Bellamy. Feeds it all the way back down the ice. That was short-handed, remember. Panthers on penalty kill duty. Bellamy's lost it in his feet, won it back. Half robbed. 3-on-1. Shoot over the bar. If Hull aren't going to take the chances when they get them like that, they ain't ever going to score. All right, here's a question for you. Has Kowalski had a you-know-what, like the Scottish play that we don't like to mention until it happens?
hang on.
Has there been a game in which the other team hasn't scored?
No.
We won't say the word, you know, like you're not allowed to say the name of the Scottish play in theatrical circles. I don't want to jinx. Oh, good rob by Bellamy. And a clever little move by Billy Ryan to try and set him up. Those two complement each other so well, don't they? Both got speed. One's got good skills, great skills. One's got decent skills. And that's the way to do it, Steve Lee.
Yeah.
Put your whole body through it. He had to check the stick wasn't broken afterwards, but at least he bore down on the attempted clearance. Beauregard. Remember, Panthers are still short-handed, and they've had by far the better attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And not for the first time this season, a short-handed goal against the Sheffield Steelers on Friday night. I remember one against the Belfast Giants on opening day. There's been at least one more, if not two. I think Panthers are leading the way with short-handed goals in the stats with about 4 or 5. It just shows how, you know, despite the loss of some big offensive players like Cameron Mann and Sean McCaslin, Panthers have got such great offense again.
8:12 to go for second period. Panthers lead by 2-0. So I've just rung a mate downstairs and made him look upstairs. I can't stop laughing because he's thinking, what's he doing? Oh, a P step straight out of the box.
No way.
Just a good hit. Oh, here we go. Sladdock's in for a spank. Sladdock is in for a spank, I guarantee it. Sladdock now realises he might have made a mistake. Oh, goes down in one, bless him. Guy Lepine stands up and says, for goodness sake. Well, he just stepped straight out of the box, didn't he? Why would he be thrown out for a hit straight out of the box? I don't think he should be going to the locker room, for goodness sake. I think they're calling him back from the locker room. I hope they're calling him back from the locker room. I mean, Silverthorne's been helped from the ice. It was a big hit. He got hurt, but no one wishes him ill. 7:57 to go, second period. Panthers lead by 2-0. Guy Lepine, who hits like a train. Waiting to see what the calls are.
Talking to Clarkey, and it's interesting that the referee's got to make this call. The linesman was the one that ushered him off the ice. The only penalty Lepine can get that is obvious is the 5-minute fighting. Obviously, there's going to be 2 minutes for sure for the initial penalty that Hicks scored. It just remains to be seen whether Hicks has scored anything else. Maybe he's gone 2+10, but...
Well, if it's 2+10 for checking to the head, then it's just like, oh, it's Guy Lepine, so it must be 2+10 for checking to the head. They're not even looking at the hits. We might have to get the league's paint-by-numbers slow-mo program on that one again and have a look at it. I'm sure you've rewound the DVD by the time you're listening to these words. Silverthorne's getting treated by the doctor just beyond the team bench. He's just having a look at him, seeing if there's a bit of percussion in there, if he's been hit on the head with a couple of bongos. And, it's how do you say to a guy like Guy Lepine, don't hit?
Yeah, wants to hit.
That's his job.
I guess it's the interpretation of Michael Hicks. I mean, the rule obviously has now become clear in the sense that you can't hit to the head in any way, shape or form. But whether that was a hit to a head, it's hugely open to debate. We can't. It happens in such an instant, you don't know. I don't know. Did you look back at the one from Sunday?
Yeah, just a hit.
A hit to the head.
Should have been interference.
Yeah.
The only thing wrong with it was the guy didn't have the puck.
And I just worry now. There's a precedent with the initial call from a few weeks ago. Clark, this has obviously not gone the Panthers' way because Clark is still there. If it just been 2 minutes for interference or cross-checking or something like that.
Yeah, they got 2 in the box now.
I think Lepine's been thrown out here. Oh no, yeah, maybe Lepine's gone 5 in game because there's 5 on Lepine's side. So there'll be 5 for the fight. I'm guessing he's been given 5 in game for checking to the head. And the guy that fought him's probably got the instigator for the fight, hasn't he?
Here we go. Here come the announcements from the rink announcer.
This crowd's going to boo in a minute.
So it's 2+10 instigator and 5 for fighting against Sladdock. That's a match penalty for checking to the head. That means he's on a 4-game suspension straight off the bat.
Fans Forum's just got feisty.
Ooh. We'll have to have a look at it in the interval, folks. You can rewind the DVD right now and have a look-see. Danny Myers with the puck for the GMB Nottingham Panthers. John Zion, back to Myers. Has hardly had a call to make all game, and then a huge call made. It's given away. Rob Bellamy trying to make something out of nothing there. Puck just wouldn't settle for him. It bounced over his stick, and he'll get it down, but only as far as John Zion. He gets a piece of it. Gaysons came in with his stick very high there. Bellamy finishes his hit, as he's prone to do. It's won the puck. Right to the front from Billy Ryan. Zion redirects it over the bar and into the glass. That was a great hit from Billy Ryan and Bellamy, and I think it was a great hit from Guy Lepine.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be one of those ones that you're right, in the break, I guess we'll turn it back and have a look, and if it is a dangerous check to the head, then obviously it's a deserved match penalty if it's been called wrong. Obviously I've got different rules to that I've had in the past, but I'm still not going to deny that it's. I just worry that there's a dangerous precedent been set. This is the 3rd time that Lepine's been penalised for a mid-height hit, which fans love to see.
Nikolov with the puck for the GMB Nottingham Panthers. Matt Myers tried to get round Cloutier, just couldn't quite do it. He's Mitchell. GB International shoots, pad save. Cloutier goes through the crease.
This game could get feisty now.
Well, at least he's called it. Cloutier sitting down. Interference is the call. What amazes me about that is that Cloutier has the audacity to shake his head and argue it.
Now that was obvious.
So right now it's swung to a Panthers power play. Because it was 4-on-4 during the 2 minutes to Sladok on the 2 and 10 part of his penalty. Then there was going to be 3 minutes of Panthers penalty kill. But now there's going to be 1:46 of Panthers kill after they enjoy 46 seconds of power play. Beauregard getting slapped around. Shot, pad save. John Zion's got 1 goal. He's hoping to get another. Beauregard gets it past the Hull defenseman, who is Grundmanis. Just want to make sure I got his name right. Grundmanis. He's the one Chris was told was found on the fish dock in Hull. Right in front, loose puck. Beauregard. Now Stingrays were going 4-on-4 for a while. Loose puck. Dully gets to it. David Clark tries to knock it down with a stick when the glove would have got it. Makes some time, fakes the pass back. Sends it across to Nikolov. Beautiful pass onto the tape for Bellamy. Bellamy tries to force it through. David Clark spins and spins after he was clipped. Booking's the call against Reed. Clarkey made just enough of that to make sure it was called.
So Panthers now on a power play, 4-on-3. But it's just got a little.
That's 4-on-4 for a minute, Chris. In 48 seconds, they go at the power play.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Oh no, it's 4-on-3 now, isn't it? No.
Yeah, they've swapped one over. They'd got it on the wrong side of the board, I think. I was looking at the big clock instead of the little clock. The little clock is the one we should always go by. Yeah, you're right. Panthers have gone back to 4-on-3.
4-on-3, yeah.
Because they've got 2 men in the box for 35 seconds. So Hull had a great opportunity to get right back into a 2-goal game with a 3-minute power play, which a goal would not have cancelled the man disadvantage out for Nottingham, because it would have been part of a major 5-minute penalty.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they've overlapped it with 2 soft 2-minute penalties of their own. Zion shot off target. Usiverta hangs on to it and then gives it back to Zion. Zion sends it forward to Billy Ryan. Billy Ryan, absolute slap out the stick by Usiverta. They're getting another penalty. They just haven't got a clue at the moment. Rebound off the back of a leg.
And so we're going back to 4-on-3.
Just as they got a man back.
Yeah.
I don't know how he can shake his head about that. You're not allowed. I mean, at very least it was interference because the guy wasn't carrying the puck. The other thing is, Chris, you can't appeal a match penalty called by a referee. You can just ask for the review. You know, it gets reviewed and then you put your things in. He misses our next game, which is the trip to Braehead on Saturday. And then he's facing a minimum of 3 unless they downgrade it to a game.
It's just crazy how it's just deja vu. I've already had about 5 texts from people at the game. It's crazy how it's deja vu from the first instant. Slight deja vu, obviously, from Sunday. I guess we'll have some work to do at the break to see.
We'll have a quick look at it, see what happens, you know. Panthers on the 4-on-3 power play still, because Hull just don't know how to stay out of the box when they're given a gift horse.
Oh, on target, get it on target.
Smallest crowd of the season, good crowd, but smallest we've had of the season. will make a lot of noise right now as the Nottingham Panthers convert the power play and make it 3-0. So certainly that call from the referee has woken up everybody. It's certainly fired up everybody, and Panthers have converted the 4-on-3 power play. And I think that was John Zion's second goal of the game.
Was it Clark? I thought it was
Oh, it was Clarkie's shot.
Clark.
David Clark with a shot at the end. Zion involved in the play. It was Clark, Matt Myers up front, Zion and Corey Nielsen at the back. And it was in the back of the net, and keeper Boucher was fishing it out of the lobster pot behind him.
18 goals now for Clarkey this season. He's the leading British goal scorer in the league. He's had a prolific start to the season, and that one went underneath Boucher, I think. Maybe went 5-hole, I'm not sure. But the power play time told for the Panthers, and Clarkey on target again.
Coburn can't knock Nikolov off the puck, and he sends a clever one down middle channel. Levers is tripped, but gets enough on it to get it through to the Hull keeper, although they haven't worked it forward. He's Coburn for the Stingrays, going down the left wing. Steve Lee shadows him, forces him out wide. Soft one comes in. Tendler knocks Nikolov over, but only after Kowalski's covered up. And we're skating 4-on-4 now. And out of all those, that 5-minute major penalty, Hull, unless they take another penalty, will end up with 21 seconds of power play.
Well, it's crazy. It's indiscipline, really. And if I was Sylvain Cloutier, I'd be angry. And they were obvious penalties as well. It wasn't like the referee was evening things out because of major penalty or something like that. I mean, there was big slashes, wasn't there, and all sorts. And it was their chance to have a prolonged period of pressure, and they've blown it, and they're now almost out of the game.
Billy Ryan cuts inside, flicks it up, goes and gets it himself, has a look. Zion hits Billy Ryan, gives him the puck. Billy Ryan loses the puck, it's come out. Panthers, if they play it, would have been offside. Of course, it's Panthers that get the man back first. I was doing the sums the wrong way.
Makes it more remarkable.
So they virtually gave up all of that power play, all of it, through taking dumb penalties. Bellamy shadows back, gets the puck, brings it forward himself. Lakovic is on the ice for Nottingham. Bellamy to Lakovic, soft shot, soft tip. Cooper still hasn't got it.
Oh.
Lakovic hits the side netting, the goal light came on.
Definitely hit side netting.
Oh, definitely, twitchy finger. Thomas Jeffrey tries to play tough with Nikolov, the puck's gone through. Matt Myers tries to get a piece of it, can't. Hull tried to mount an attack through Ussi Verta. Nikolov comes straight through the forward. Back door, Robert Lakovic, Hull carved open, wide open, great pass, and young Bobby Lakovic, Nottingham born and bred, makes it 4-0 in this Challenge Cup and Elite League double-up game. Panthers in total control, and everyone fired up thanks to that seemingly harsh call from referee Michael Hicks.
Pleased for Lacko as well. Obviously earlier in the shift I thought he was going to get a goal there as well, and obviously not as much ice time just recently for Robert Lakovic, with Panthers playing at full strength for most of the games. But I like to see players do that, Gary. I like to see players driving the net, and that's what Lacko did and tipped in. Nice finish, and Panthers, you're right, they seem fired up since that harsh call. It seems at the moment that way, and they now lead by 4. First score of the season.
Nottingham manning another attack. The pass this time doesn't get through to McDonald, and Hull have a chance. Davis left wing, Coburn right wing, shoots straight at John Zion's leg pad. Steve Lee finishes his hit. Davis pops up, soft backhand, picked off by Zion. At the second attempt, he gets it out to the right wing. Dully goes back for the Hull Stingrays, sends it up the left wing. Davis easily poke-checked by Steve Lee. Gasons flicks it forward, Coburn can't get it, it's in the feet of Steve Lee. He gets slapped around the ankle by Coburn's stick, gives him a hard stare. Zion dumps it in. Cloutier Kowalski realises no one's coming, so he goes and gets it himself. Panthers trying to work it down the left flank, and do so. He's Billy Ryan. Last minute of the second period, Ryan cuts inside, good move. Bellamy takes his eye off the puck to see what was happening around the goal. It's led to a 3-on-2. Nielsen gets back. Offside whistle blown against Hull. 3-on-1 and they go in offside.
Yeah, that's careless.
I thought Hull in the first period were pretty...
I thought they were pretty good in the first period, but, you know, they've kind of...
This is the Hull of old, Chris.
Yeah, they've lost, you know, almost since that big hit from Lepin, they seem to have lost their discipline, they've lost their focus, and a period where I thought they could get back into the game, you know, they've gone and lost the game now. You know, 4 down, there's no way they're going to come back from this. And
well, I think they've lost Silverthorne. We haven't seen him since the best doctor in Nottingham, Razadar, went down to treat him. Great bloke, Razadar. Bellamy protects the puck, gets the pass back from Nikolov, has to go and try and dig it out. Throws the big hit on the guy with the longest name so far in the league, Grundmanis. There's the hooter for the end of the second period. 1-0 in the first, 3-0 in the second. Panthers right on top, as they were at the end of the first period. They've stretched the lead to 4-0. Cup and league points almost in the bag, but on the debit side of the account sheet, the big penalty call against Guy Lepin. 20 minutes to come up, folks. I'm sure you've already rewound the tape. We're going to do that right now. Official crowd figure for tonight, just over 3,300 in.
very good.
We've had a look at the Lepin hit on the DVD, and all I can tell you about it is that referee Michael Hicks is going to have a look at it, apparently under the guidelines and the rules, because Silverthorne was hurt, and I gather he's on his way to hospital as a precaution, purely as a precaution. Because there was an injury, he has to call it a match penalty straight off the bat, but then he will have a look at it straight away on the screen in the ref's room at the end of the game and see if... oh, Glazen's just elbowed ahead. Just absolutely elbowed ahead. Cloutier's got in to grab... David Clark was elbowed in the head. I'm absolutely certain. Steve Cameraman, did you see that? That's going to be so controversial. Did the linesman notice it? Have they told the referee? Is there going to be a call? David Clark's managed to get to his feet. Gazens sits down. So it's hard to maintain a neutral standpoint when you've seen one of the Panthers players pick up the big penalty and then someone goes in head high. Now that, to my mind, is the kind of hit that the rule is aimed at cutting out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't see it, but going on the reaction of the fans down there as well, there was a lot of protesting. Penalty going on the board is 2 minutes, so...
Alex Penner goes on the power play for the GMB Nottingham Panthers, just to screen the goalkeeper, of course. That's exactly what he's doing now. He's planted himself in front of the blue paint. Dully tries to fan it down the ice. It's picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell gets hold of it and sends it down. I think they just called that one high sticks. Billy Ryan gets away from his marker and gets down the right wing, has a look. Looked as though he was going to run out of space, but doesn't. Back door, Panthers queuing up off the back of the keeper and off the side of the netting, I think, and behind the goal. Nielsen keeps it down. In enemy territory, it's back to Billy Ryan at the blue line. He fakes the shot, then squirts one across to Zion. Zion fakes the shot and squirts one across to Nielsen. Nielsen has a look. Can't fake anything, just backhands it out to Zion. Zion keeps it in the zone. Through the legs to Nielsen. As Zion leaves Mitchell on the floor. Billy Ryan backhands it to Zion. Zion tries to stick handle his way in, backhands it right through the danger area. Beauregard backdoor, easy tip in. Absolutely easy tip in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Billy Ryan scores for the GMB Nottingham Panthers.
Yeah, great movement on the power play for the Panthers. I mean, this year, people have said the Panthers power play hasn't got going, but what, in the last few games, Sheffield on Friday night, and especially here tonight, they've had some room and they've worked it well. It was an easy tap in, and the Panthers running away with this game now. Billy Ryan on target. It's been a good start to the year for Billy Ryan. He was the leading goal scorer, of course, for the Panthers, or leading point scorer at one point, but he gets another one there, which I think even I could have scored. But Billy Ryan there with his...
Hey, calm down.
11th, I think.
Calm down. I might have been able to turn that in, Chris. I've seen you on skates. Levers tries to let the puck run past Grandmanis. He can't. Tom Norton's getting a shift on defence for Nottingham, who lead by 5-0. And of course, on a you-know-what, there'll be no... Oh, Panthers are absolute, virtually at the hash marks offside on this play. Norton sends it back in, his teammates offside, and then the linesman notices this time. Brickley in Seville. It's Brickley, you know, in Hull, Chris. Tendler, it's in his feet. Hull get it forward. He's Coburn, sticked upstairs by Danny Myers, on the trick taught to him by the man with a plan, Corey Nielsen.
Well, another offensive game for the Panthers, already the league's leading goal scorers so far this season. 5 more to their name already, and they're just blowing teams away at the moment, really on a roll, looking for what, a 6th league win in a row, I think, here tonight.
There's been entertainment in every game at Panthers this year.
Absolutely.
You know, Dundee, penalty coming in. I'm not sure who's getting the penalty. Gaysons, who threw the elbow on Clark. Clark getting the penalty for a little bit of retribution with a slash.
The thing is, he plays a great brand of hockey, Corey Nielsen, exciting brand of hockey. I mean, fans coming down to games.
Surely you don't disagree with Neil Abel in Sheffield.
Was that not a good team talk? did that
loose lips sink ships.
Did that get mentioned anywhere in the room? I never did find that out.
It kind of got chatted upon, you know. People more took the mickey out of it than anything. And Ben Simon, the player coach at Sheffield, was fuming about it.
I'm not surprised.
Danny Myers throws it down the ice on the penalty kill, so there can't be an icing whistle against Nottingham. They've got 17 minutes to go in this one. Big goal tally against Edinburgh, big goal tally against Dundee. Good games. You know, had a bit of entertainment, bit of a goal fest. It's fallen kindly for Konstantin Kalmikov, but even the big Ukrainian gunner can't put that one away.
Yep, player I'd like to see back in the Panthers colours, maybe getting on a bit slightly now. Maybe a couple of years ago had Kalmy back, but certainly played in that year that now I think it was the year we got to the playoff final. It was the NHL lockout year when the team on their last legs got to the playoff final against Coventry, wasn't it? And he was immense in that playoff series with Kudvina. And
good save, loose puck right in front. Oh, and he gets the tip, needed the tip from Kowalski to protect his goal, and now Beauregard's down the other end, slams the brakes on. Panthers on penalty kill, sends it in low. Billy Ryan goes after it, beats Reed to it. Reed just gets enough on it, one-handed, to maintain possession, and he'll get it over halfway with Tendler. He sends it in, has to go for it himself. Steve Lee uses the backhand. Mitchell reads that one and picks it off, sends it in low to Cloutier, his player coach. Cloutier across to Tendler. Tendler has a look. There's no one in front. No one in front. Tendler gets it back. Bit of tic-tac-toe with the blue line with Ground Manis. Tendler backhands it to Cloutier. Cloutier has a look. 36-year-old player, coach of the Hull Stingrays, gives it to Mitchell. Looks for the return pass, gets it, feeds the back door. Ground Manis can't get to it. They've kept it in the zone though. Panthers with less than 20 seconds to go on the penalty kill. He's Ground Manis. He's in uncharted territory for a big Ukrainian defenseman, Latvian defenseman. Uses the boards, gets it back to Mitchell. Mitchell to Reed, back door, hits the post. Well left by the keeper, read it well. They sweep a shot. Nikolov is pushed off it by Cloutier. Softest of shots by Tendler. Nikolov goes in on Cloutier, who backs off and then throws the bit of the glove wash afterwards as he turns away and skates away. We've got 15-13 to go, sponsored by CH Sports. Half of which is wearing the armbands. Shirt suppliers to the GMB Nottingham Panthers. Panthers lead by 5 goals to 0. Matt Myers makes a nuisance of himself. Hand passes the call from the linesman. Dalton.
It strikes me that Kalmakov was he not one of the London? Is it the London 9? The phrase was coined. Was it London 9?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There were 6 forwards and 3 deep. And when I say 6 forwards,
there was kids, wasn't there?
it was Paul Moran at centre with wasn't it James Neal and
Danny Scott probably.
and Danny Scott on the wings, and he was babysitting them with a broken thumb and a sprained wrist on the other side. The replacements, they didn't let us down.
Absolutely no.
There were other players in the squad that year who were not injured, didn't fancy it, heard it was going to be a bit rough in Lee Valley and chose not to play. And they definitely don't fit into what I call my kind of hockey player.
A guy called Nemirovsky, who I think I nicknamed Never Playski.
Yeah, had a dentist appointment or something, whatever. It wasn't with Andy Dale anyway. Because the butcher of Chaddesden can cause you quite a bit of pain with those hooks and drills. Panthers easily win the puck. And it's Matt Myers trying to get the spark going in Bonfire Week. Late it from Tendler, right under the referee's nose. Fair enough. If that's the way you want to call it that way all the way. Davis gets it into the Panthers zone. Coburn's at the back door. Kowalski tips it away from him. They all parted like the Red Sea, so Kowalski could see the shot from Ground Manis. Penner lets it run through. Ian McDonald didn't get control of it. Now he's got another chance, but it's too far in front of him. He has to chase to get to it. Icing's the whistle. It's a school night, guys. What's all these whistles for? People want to go home.
Yeah. A crowd getting into it, though, Gary. I mean, as you say, you know, the incident, whatever people might think of the incident, it certainly got the players into it. It got the crowd into it. It got Panthers right into it, and it's swung the Panthers' favour. Was it 2-0, I think, at the time of the incident? Maybe 1-0. And Panthers have certainly come out on top from that moment.
Good save by Kowalski, which denied Liesdas. Should have done better with the shot, of course, but it was a soft shot, didn't bear down on it. Usiverta's been in the goals as well, more recently. Is this a penalty coming in or a high stick call?
Looks like a
it's penalty.
penalty.
Alex Penner go in the box. High stick the call. 13 minutes exactly to go. Let's hope it's not unlucky 13 for the GMB Panthers as they try to protect Kowalski.
So Panthers win tonight, Gary. Makes me think they'll go, 5 points behind Belfast with 2 games in hand. The only extra point was Belfast here in the overtime game, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, that's the problem at the moment. Belfast have 3 points from 2 games, and Panthers have 2 points High stick was indeed the call against Alex Pennant. Bellamy intercepts. Billy Ryan works his way round. It's one-on-one with the keeper. Oh, he just over-stick handled it, but there's a penalty coming up against Hull for whacking him with the stick from behind to spoil the shot. Dully argues he missed him. Slashing's the call. Still arguing it. Still arguing it. He's allowed to. He's the captain. Dalton grabs hold of him and yanks him away, as his Dalton's won't. You know what? I'd hate to be one of Dalton's mates on a night out, because if he behaves like that to Joe Public when he hasn't got the protection of the black and white stripes, I wouldn't stand side by side with him. I'd rather go out with Barry Bird. I've told you before. John Zion. Z gets it back to Nielsen. Nielsen has a look. So it's 4-on-4. It's thrown at the crease. Good idea by Corey Nielsen. Nothing else on. Throw it into the danger area. You never know what might happen there. 12:20 to go. 4-on-4 action. 5-0 though on the scoreboard. This one's sponsored by
And Panthers keen, you can tell, to put more points on the board. You can just see them hungry. Players want to get in on the action. And maybe there's a few more goals left in the Panthers yet.
By the time you have your referees seminar and chit-chat with the fans, the outcome of what's happened tonight, the dust will have settled. But could I ask, if I'm not there, Chris, that someone makes the point that sometimes the referees have to make a certain call and then review it afterwards?
Yeah.
The rules don't allow him to say, oh, well, everyone in the building thinks it's all right, so I better let him. All right, the guy was injured, therefore it has to be a big call, because then he can bring it down. He can't impose a bigger penalty afterwards.
In a way, Mike Higgs is victim of the rules tonight, really. I mean, yes, that's what you said.
Well, he is at the moment.
Yeah.
As long as he makes the right decision later when I have a chat to him.
Yeah.
If he makes the wrong decision, he could be losing the biggest shirt replica order in the British League. Corey Nielsen makes room, side of the net. Matt Myers goes for the delicate tip. Scrambled away, but only as far as David Clark. He wants to pull the trigger. Has a look, has a look, has a look. Myers is forced into and out of the blue paint. Big shot, pad save. Nielsen denied. Zion mops up. Big Z. Panthers cycle it. Myers frees it up for Nielsen. Good play by the Panthers. Clark pulls it through his legs, backhand, goes to get it. Hull get it over halfway. Panthers change on the fly. New bodies come on, not least Mr. Magic Hands, Jade Galbraith. In his feet, makes some room, beautiful pass. It's intercepted kind of by Tendler, but still gets through to Beauregard. Now Galbraith goes and gets it himself, tries to work his way out front. Makes some room. Panthers go to a 5-on-4 power play. Jade Galbraith backhands it off Coburn and gets it himself. Nikolov has a look, bounces one through. Steve Lee gets a piece of it. Nikolov protects the puck, feeds it back to point. Beauregard has to go and get it. It's gone to neutralise. Last 10 seconds of this short power play. Billy Ryan finds a way through right wing. Winds up for the big shot. Skims the outside of the goal. A skimmer. And the Stingrays get Dully back out of the box as well. We're skating 5-on-5, but it's 5-0 on the scoreboard. Well, it was Gazens, the guy that threw the big elbow on David Clark, that went down there very, very easily. Rob Bellamy tried to be a bit cute on Tendler, but the puck's loose. Now Nikolov's going to get 2 for hooking or hauling or tripping or over amorous advances.
Interference, I think.
You see, that's wrong as well, because you can't have interference on the puck carrier. He's called it interference, you're right, but he was the puck carrier.
Yeah, so
it's got to be hooking or tripping.
If it's going to be a penalty, yeah.
I'm not saying in this instant whether it was or wasn't a penalty. What I am saying is, on the puck carrier, it can't be interference. Interference is the call when you stop someone doing what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Panthers going to go on the penalty kill. But to be fair to them, they've looked dangerous on the penalty kill tonight. Here they come again.
Goal scorer Robert Lakovitz carries it over a couple of lines and then flicks it down the ice. Pass right through the middle to Mitchell, but he doesn't have a turn of speed after he's got possession. He's easily dispossessed by Nottingham. 3 of them go in the corner against Danny Myers. He's lost his stick. Well, he hadn't actually lost his stick, or he's picked it up in the process, but he gloved it around and juggled it a bit and single-handedly dealt with 3 of them. Can't get it out of over the blue line, out of the zone, right to the front. It skips past Tendler's stick. He of the long hair. Cloutier in the corner. Nielsen tries to go the long way round. Tendler backdoor, got to be a goal. No, it isn't. It's a brilliant save. It's an NHL quality save by K-Wall Craig Kowalski. He's 9 minutes away from his first you-know-what.
I thought it earlier, I didn't want to say it.
Well, we won't say the word. We'll call it the Scottish play. That's getting physical from Hull, either by design or accident. Matt Myers backhands it to the side, goes to get it himself. Davis backhands it in low. Coburn gives it away. Matt Myers has time to take it over the blue line, over the red line, over the blue line. Beauregard's riding shotgun, but he's a long way behind. They've put 3 bodies behind. Matt Myers plays it all the way back to D. Panthers on penalty kill. Like it, like it, like it. Zion uses the boards and gets it forward to Matt Myers. He protects the puck. He's strong, and then he backhands it in.
Too many men here on Hull, I think.
Yeah, good call. Haven't I always said Dalton, the greensman, is a good linesman?
Oh, and they clearly got 5 on.
Well, they've got 6 on the ice now. No one's just stepped on. 7 now, because one's just come off the bench, but it was blatant 6 men. He used his fingers. He had to use his fingers, but he eventually got there and thought, hang on a minute, that's a good ploy. And if he'd been here on Sunday, he could have balanced the books with Newcastle, because they went a long spell with 4 men.
Yeah. So Panthers have got, what, 144 of 4 on 4, then a power play?
No, 16 seconds of 4 on 4.
Yes, absolutely.
And then 144 of power play. I'm glad you've come in as a stats man, and you've totally thrown my otherwise immaculate mathematical approach to penalties. You've disturbed me badly on the mathematics front tonight, you know. All right, Panthers on the power play. Here's Mr. Magic Hands, Jade Galbraith. Has a look, has a look. Backhands it out. John Zine, he scored 1. He backhands it across to Corey Nielsen. Corey Nielsen right across. One wing to the other. Panthers now on the power play. Nickloff has gone straight to the team bench to send Clark on for a big cannon. Clark has to stretch. Huller in. David Clark takes the penalty on Kalmikov.
It's a good penalty to take, I think.
The kind of penalty that coaches don't mind players taking. Whether you're protecting a you-know-what or you're trying to just stop them scoring at any point in a game. You take a penalty, you knock the man out of it, and then we try and deal with the 2 minutes. And don't forget, Panthers will only be 4 on 4 for 90 seconds. There'll only be 30 seconds of power play on the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, and good to see Clark obviously putting his, body on the line and his penalty on the line to, to protect the you-know-what, because obviously, it's big for Kowalski. Mitchell backhands it to Dully. Dully pad save to deny the Stingrays captain. Mopped up the rebound well there as well.
He comes from Saskatchewan, Dully. He briefly played for Victoria Salmon Kings in the coast, but he's mostly been in the CHL, apart from a cup of coffee at Bofors in Sweden, in the 2nd or 3rd division in Sweden. Some of the names that lined up to go to Hull in the summer were quite good-looking players, not least Guy Lepin.
Yeah.
But they lost them, didn't they? I mean, one of them ended up with Brayhead, I think it was. Or is it Dundee, the big defenceman?
Suderman? Was it Bernie? Oh, no, Suderman, yeah, Dundee, wasn't it?
Suderman's up at Dundee. I guess they think Macway's tough enough up there when they can live without McMorrow. There again, if your biggest pay packet has contributed 1 goal so far, you have to have a look at the wisdom of it. Corey Nielsen back heels it forward and then goes and collects the return pass from Beauregard. We're skating 4 on 4. Nielsen to Lee. Lee into the pads. .6:29 to go.
It's the one thing you can say about Alex Penner is his stats are in and forth, so not too bad. I'm guessing now something like 2+4, 2+5, I think this season. You know, and he gets in there, makes himself a nuisance, and he's showing he can do more than just fight.
Well, Cloutier gets hold of the puck on the face-off, but it's come across to no one. Cloutier tries to rub his man out on the boards. Mark Levers tries to backhand it inside. Kalmikov loses an edge and falls over, and the puck's with Ian McDonald. He manages to get a shot away through the 5-hole, from the 5-hole. 30 seconds of Stingrays power play now in operation. Whatever Chris Ellis says, it's Stingrays on the power play. Reed. Remember him as being... He's only listed as about 6 feet, 6'1", Reed. Good
Save.
stick save to deny Cloutier. K-Wall wants it, doesn't he? He's got less than 6 miles to go to his first you-know-what. Penalties over to Clark. Sides are skating 5-on-5, even strength. It's out to Cloutier. Kalmikov, the two oldest guys in the Stingrays team combining, 36-year-old player coach, and Konstantin Kalmikov. It bounces around. Kalmikov with a shot, hits the back heel of Tom Norton, goes to safety. Myers controls it. Kalmikov is currently 32. So that's 68 years of experience between them. You know, at rec hockey once, I used to play on a line with Les Strongman.
Did you?
Yeah, and the two of us at the time, he was 68 and I was 32. So between us, we had 100 years of experience of
Didn't
life.
you play on a line with Mick Holland once as well in a charity game?
Well, it's alleged, but I can't remember it. You know, Mick was so far behind the play, I can't remember him being on the ice with us. He's got that photograph of us leaning on the boards. I was in the same team. I was in the same team. I don't think I was on his line. I made my rec kind of debut. It wasn't really rec hockey, it was old-timers hockey. And I only got to play because I was genuinely over 32, and you had to have at least... Actually, I was 35. And you had to have at least 2 guys over 35 to qualify. It was one of those weird team rules, you know. So we had a lot of ex-Panthers players. Hardly anyone wanted to play us because you had the likes of Nigel Rhodes and Simon Perkins and Stuart Parker in the team. And Danny Thompson was the goalie. And what have you. And... I got to play. Me and Les made us legit because we were old enough to make us legit. And I swore that my playing hero in those days was Steve Salter. He just got on with it. You know, took his teeth out, never wore a gum shield, you know. Took his teeth out, just got on with it, scored a goal, stepped over the board, sat down, got a break, swill of water, went back and scored another one. Loved the way the guy played. So I said to Auden the kids, I'm doing nothing. If I do anything right tonight, you know, heavens above, if I scored a goal, you know, I'm going to do it the Steve Salter way. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Anyway, when we get to the rink, we can't believe it. 1,800 people have come to watch the Nottingham Oak Leafs' first ever game. Managed by the late, great Harry Todd. Anyway, I get a shift. I go on there. Somehow they take a penalty and we don't change the line, so I haven't touched the puck yet. We've already had 2 seconds, new face-off. Anyway, somebody threw it across the crease. I'm at the back door, Chris. First touch, first shift, first ever game, scored.
Wow.
Scored. And I was coolness personified. Except when I realised 1,800 people were stood and cheering, I did about 3 laps of honour.
Why not?
I was like the old Robin Andrew jumping up and down.
Why not?
Warpath and everything.
Oh, great work, Corey Nielsen.
Panthers desperately trying to help K-Ward. Penner throws the hit, wins the puck. Makes sure Billy Ryan flicks it down the ice. Oh, it's Nikolov getting it down the ice. And next shift, I stayed on. We scored the goal. The announcement aim. Everyone cheered. I waved. Next shift, I went down. They had a bloke on defence. He weighed about 19 stone, 18 and a half stone. Big lad. We were playing the US Air Force and Army combined side. Good stop by K-Wall. Shut the door. And I speared him. I went in head first and knocked him flying. Les sent Bremner on to take me off and said he scored a goal. Now he's throwing his. Get him out of there before he kills himself. I didn't get many more shifts, but...
Hey, you can still say you scored at the old arena.
I scored at the old arena on the first shift of my first game with my first touch. Alex Penner's feeling
To the board,
benevolent, yeah. Levers got rattled into the glass and the perspex. No call from the officials. and the face-off's coming outside for a hit from behind on a player, puck underneath, pins him. Confusing.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. Why are we coming outside? I'm not convinced I can even work that one out.
2:34 to go, sponsored by CH Sports. Panthers lead by 5-0. Period scores tonight, Chris?
1-0, 4-0, isn't it? Yes. Uh, 1-0, 3-0, 1-0, I think. I'll go back
I knew you were wrong. I was just waiting to see how long it was before you worked it. The nice little tip inside by Beauregard.
I'm no motto. Or Motti, should I say.
Billy Ryan picks his spot, unfortunately picks one 6 inches too high above the bar. Dully squirts it across. I'd like to formally thank Corey Nielsen for helping with the marketing of this game by billing Hull as vastly improved and one of the better teams in the league, but they might have been okay first period, but they've been pretty shocking second and third. Albeit without Silverthorne, who's at the QMC for a precaution.
And obviously not as good as Panthers saw in Humberside in that first game, where I gather they were.
That can't be because it's small ice. It's Olympic ice in Hull. Zion. Lakovitz gets a tip. Kowalski had the glove there. He had the corner of the goals covered. He just couldn't reach the shot. It was so high, wide, and not very handsome. Mitchell gets it right across the face. Apparently Jussi Vert is allowed to skate through the blue paint, unchallenged. I don't mean he was unchallenged by us, I mean he's allowed to go into the crease. Panthers get it across, Lakovitz looking for his second goal of the game, passes without looking. Clark stretches, gets it back to Lakovitz. Lakovitz is rubbed out by Esders, but Matt Myers comes and gets the puck, but he's got one hand on the stick tonight. A little bit too much of that. Lakovitz hustles and bustles, Mitchell tries to win it back, can't. Fishing for it, can't get it. Mitchell loses out. Backhand down the ice. Nikolov can't get to that one. Panthers fans are clapping it down even. Blocker and glove save. Kalmikov can't get to it. Of course he can't. He's on the bench. Kowalski, 20 seconds away from his first shutout for the GMB Nottingham Panthers. It's with McDonald. They're going to do well to break the shutout now. We'll make up for how many times we haven't said the word shutout by saying he's on a shutout with 10 seconds to go. It's going to be K-Wall's first shutout. The boys want to give him a shutout. He's going to get a shutout. Corey Nielsen makes sure he's had a look at the clock. Panthers bring it up the ice, float it down the ice, and it's a shutout for Craig K-Wall Kowalski. And the Nottingham Panthers beat the Hull Stingrays by 5-0 in an elite game and a Challenge Cup game. 2 points in both competitions, thoroughly deserved, thoroughly earned, and the presentations from CH Sports will follow in a moment. My thanks to Chris Ellis on the other microphone, my thanks to Steve Wilkinson on the camera lens. I've got to shoot out, and as soon as we've seen the Man of the Match awards, we're going to wrap this one up because I've got to shoot downstairs, and don't hold your breath folks, I've got to talk to you-know-who about you-know-what and see if he'll downgrade the penalty. Thanks for watching. Panthers DVDs are brought to you in association with Virgin Active.
These are being presented on behalf of match sponsors CH Sports by Andy Corcoran. The Arco Man of the match for Stingrays this evening, number 53, Christian Boucher.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for each and every one of the travelling fans that made the journey inland here to the home of the GMB Nottingham Panthers, wishing them and of course our listeners tonight a very safe journey home.
And the Arco man of the match for GMB Panthers this evening, number 14, Billy